And right now at 5 on WHAS11 News, you can barely see it, but slushy wet snow coming down 45 minutes north of downtown Louisville. This is Scottsburg, Indiana. Look closely. You can see it on the rooftops at the bottom of your screen and also right in the middle of your screen. We have a few hours of snow and then Arctic cold. Thank you for joining us on what's going to be a snowy Friday. Hi, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Shay McAllister. Meteorologist Colleen Peterson's updating the timing of the snowfall tonight. Colleen, when can we expect to see those flakes here in Louisville?
I think in about an hour to an hour and a half, 6:30 to 7 p.m. That's when our atmosphere is going to be cold enough. We're getting reports of sleet in downtown, but north of Scottsburg, you are seeing some snow. And there's a lot more moisture that's going to be heading our way throughout southern Illinois. That is what's going to head our way in downtown. Areas south around Bardstown here over the next few hours into the evening. So taking a look at our radar, there is a divide of rain, sleet, and snow. You're starting to see some pink and purples popping up on the radar. That's indicating some sleet in downtown Louisville. North of Scottsburg, seeing some snow. This is moderate snow that we're seeing with a darker blue, pretty light around Salem to over to Bedford. That's going to continue here for the next few hours. So I think the spots I'll have the most accumulation will be north of Sellersburg to North Vernon and Seymour, which have been seeing snow for the past hour. South of town, you are mainly going to see a dusting around 9-10 p.m. areas around Springfield and Lebanon, but right now we are just seeing some light to moderate rain, which will continue. So this forecast model, I think, does a good job at depicting the transition. So seeing some sleet over the next hour or so across downtown, and then I think that's when we'll start to see some snowflakes by 7 p.m. here in the metro. That'll continue to tread off farther south, and then E-Town will get on some of that snow around 9 to 10 p.m. Now here in the metro, we'll probably all clear out by 11 o'clock, and even areas far south around Adair County will clear out at that time as well. So it is going to be an evening event, and then we're talking about some very cold temperatures tomorrow morning. I'm talking about temperatures around the 20s. So bottom line, could see some slick spots for your evening commute, only reduce visibility around the spots that get the heavy bands of snow. I'll talk more about those impacts here coming up. Doug, Shay.
Thank you, Colleen. Well, here at home, our local crews say, despite the fact that we're on that snow slush line, they are going to spread salt around the area.
Right now, at 5 o'clock exactly, Metro snow crews are reporting to work. Later tonight, they'll start salting the road in case of any refreezing. The
crews are going to be working through the night on the 111 Metro snow routes because there will be rain, of course, before the snow. As Colleen just told us, crews won't be brining the roads because it could just be washed away. Now from the First Alert Storm Team Beast, Alden German is on the move. He's heading through Indiana, Crothersville, Indiana. Alden, how's it looking there?
Doug, Shay, we actually have a little bit of accumulation on the ground here. I don't have a measuring stick, but I'd estimate maybe about a quarter of an inch or so on those grassy surfaces. As we look outside, the roadways are mainly wet, but within the last few minutes, maybe starting to get a bit slushier out there. But otherwise, traffic up here, you know, is going to be pretty light, and we finally have seen that transition over to predominantly snow for the most part as we drive down the main drag here of Crothersville. So if any roadways are really going to be having any significant impacts, it would probably be the rural roads that aren't going to be treated or are going to be treated last at that. But the interstates were pretty okay for us. Traffic was moving along relatively smoothly. Snow was let up here just a little bit, but you can see where it's accumulated there on the ground. So for now, we'll send it back into you. I'm here in the Beast with senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton.
All right, thank you both. Drive safely for Indiana. They're expecting a little bit more snow than Metro Louisville, as we've been telling you. More than 500 snow trucks are treating highways and interstates across the state of Indiana. The most snow in Indiana will be concentrated up near Indianapolis. National Weather Service predicting 3 to 4 inches for Indianapolis. So if you're going to be driving up to that NBA All-Star weekend with all those former UK players, be careful.
We would love to see the weather where you live. If you can, step outside, take a picture of the snow if you're seeing any, and then text it to us, 502-582-7290. You might just see those snow pictures right here on WHAS 11. And now to the latest development in the Nelson County schools. A lawsuit filed by parents is trying to move the board back to their original facility plan. It was agreed on in 2021 and it was heard in court today. Our Ian Hardwitt and photojournalist Jessica Farley report on the packed courtroom.
The attorney for parent group Nelson County Ford showed concerns over how quickly he's getting evidence from the school board's defense. A special judge from out of town decided no video cameras in the courtroom.
Our community has not been met with any response to emails, phone calls, text, community forum invitations, town hall invitations from our board, and it's unacceptable.
This packed room shows, despite what they call a lack of transparency, there's a lot of eyes turned toward the case. Parents have filed a lawsuit against proposed school mergers, wanting the district to move forward with the original facility plan. Judge Mark Thurman is hopeful for a mediation of the case and wants the Kentucky Department of Education to get involved. Defense attorneys argued for the privacy of school board members, not wanting the emails and texts requested by the parent group's lawyer to go public and be taken out of context. Thurman ultimately ruled those must be provided soon so the Nelson County Ford's lawyer, Matthew Height, can start going through board member conversations. Former board member Damon Jackie resigned in October, insisting the board was conducting public business in secret.
You can have discussions outside of a public meeting, but having discussions where you say, how are you going to vote? That's not the way public business is to be done.
WHAS11 reached current board members several times for comment, but we were denied or ignored repeatedly. In Nelson County, Ian Hartwood, WHAS11, on your side.
The next hearing for this lawsuit is scheduled for March 15th. If all deadlines set by the judge are met, those emails and texts from board members will be in the hands of the parent group by March the 1st.
More local news, all new here today. Today, the Jefferson County coroner released the name of the UPS employee who was killed late yesterday afternoon at UPS Worldport at our airport. 46-year-old Dallas Carroll, who lived in Georgetown, Indiana, was hit by a semi-truck around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. Officers say he died at the scene. Here you can see emergency vehicles and responders on the property off Grade Lane. Right after this happened, the fire department, Louisville Fire Department, told us crews responded for an extrication involving a semi. The man's death is being called an accident by Metro Police. The Jefferson County coroner also calling it an accident, but saying the cause of death is still pending. In a statement sent to WHAS 11 News, UPS said that they are deeply saddened by the passing of an employee today at Worldport. Talking about yesterday, of course, our thoughts are with their family.
New right here at 5 o'clock, Louisville Metro Police have made arrests in 2 separate homicide cases. Earlier today, LMPD officers arrested Tishawn Malik Effinger for a shooting on Muhammad Ali Boulevard from January 25th. In arrest documents, officers say Effinger shot Kevin Artis inside of a liquor store during an argument. Artis later died at the hospital. Effinger, who police say was on shock probation at the time, is now charged with murder and convicted felon in possession of a handgun. Also today, with the help from U.S. Marshals, officers made an arrest in a case dating back to June of 2022. 20-year-old Jeremiah Banks is now charged with the murder death of Vincent Crutcher. That happened on a home at Heatherview Road, right off of Breckenridge Lane. Banks is the second person arrested in connection to that shooting.
2 minors are in custody and facing gun charges after the Kansas City shooting that killed 1 person. More than 20 other people, mostly kids, were hurt in this shooting. Their names aren't being released due to their age, along with gun charges. They are charged with resisting arrest. Officers believe the shooting started after a fight right after the parade had ended, minutes after the Chiefs coaches and the players had left the stage. Jacob Gooch Sr., his wife, and 13-year-old son were caught in the crossfire. They're now recovering from gunshot wounds to their feet and legs.
Thinking fireworks in my head, so I look down, I see smoke coming out of my ankle. You just don't expect it to happen to you, but it's happening so much.
Most of the children hurt in the shooting are expected to make full recoveries.
Today, back here at home, 3 adults, 1 child, and 3 dogs are without a home after a house fire early this morning. It happened at 5 o'clock right on the corner of Alfred Avenue in the Shawnee neighborhood. Here you see a picture of the house in flames. Crews arrived on scene and found the home fully engulfed. We're told it took 25 firefighters approximately 15 minutes to gain control of the fire. 1 person was taken to the hospital. Thankfully, they're expected to survive, and the American Red Cross is helping those affected tonight.
Thousands of United Auto workers are threatening to strike at Ford's Kentucky truck plant. The East End plant is the Ford Motor Company's most profitable plant in the world. 9,000 workers at the Louisville factory say Ford is failing to address health and safety issues despite that brand new contract deal. If things aren't resolved by next week, the workers in Louisville say they're going to go on strike on Friday. UAW Vice President Chuck Browning has requested authorization to do so from the UAW President Shawn Fain. The Kentucky truck plant, of course, was one of the first facilities to walk out during the nationwide UAW strike last year. It comes as well after strong comments from the Ford CEO this week, saying that strike was a watershed moment for Ford's relationship with the UAW. He went on to say the company will now rethink where it builds vehicles in the future.
Right now, construction of new apartments in New Albany is on hold. The City Council unanimously passed a moratorium on new complexes and short-term rentals. Mayor Jeff Gahan originally proposed the idea last month. He believes the city should focus on home ownership instead and protecting the amount of single-family homes. A UofL study did find home ownership dropped in the city down to 54%.